Hey everyone, it's Josh or NFT Bro here, and today we are catching up with DareDevilDan from Project Tempus. He's going to give us a run through. Welcome, Dan.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, mate. And we'll get right into it, shall we?
Awesome. Yeah, sounds good.
So this is essentially the version of the website you'll see when you first log in, where friend will pop up his little sort of information where he just introduces himself and tells you where to go. It's sort of a little cheat sheet. You'll probably figure it out without it, and then you can just minus it down. For some reason, there's a square there. There we go. We just wanted to do that just in case people struggle at all with the navigation, etc., etc. And essentially, you just need to log in. It's all via FuturePass. It's all integrated into the root network. I'll go through MetaMask, and it's just a sign-in request, as most people would be used to already. And then it'll connect. Wallet Connect currently isn't working, so it'll only be MetaMask right now. But it's being worked on.
Sorry, and so only browser as well, no mobile at this stage.
So we built the website for mobile, but MetaMask puts out an update every 3 days.
Right.
And it's usually a game-breaking update. So currently, probably not mobile, but people can try.
Yeah.
But it might not work. But essentially, you have the three bubbles down the bottom. You've got your bookshelf, Machines of Mana, and the news hub. The news is the little bulletin board that was live previously on the website that had the advertisement for the thingy that we hired. There'll be another one probably going up tomorrow if we can get it done in time. You can also.
And are you hiring again, or is this just
No,
a new update,
just
you mean?
just an update on what we've been up to.
I was going to say you're not happy with the thingy that you've got currently.
Yeah, I got to fire them. They also have hover states, so you can go through the website just by hovering. But we'll take you through the main access, which is the doors. This will take you to essentially the product page, or the book's kind of where it lives. Gives you a brief outline of what the story's about. It's got a copy link. It's got the Twitter link. And then we've put in a little sort of guide of what happens when you're doing everything. So people kind of know, why am I signing these things? Why am I accepting these transactions? To just kind of tell you what's going on. You're bridging, you're staking, you're subscribing, and then you're gaining Tempus points. Sort of a very small guide. Most people will probably scroll past it, but if you're interested, it's there. And then something we haven't told anyone is there is 2 books.
Ooh, a free book.
There is a free book. So the prequel is the first issue, essentially. It's the prequel to the book. We decided we wanted this to be free to give people a taste. Obviously, there's still a gas charge because it lives on the blockchain. But, it's a way for people to go, will I like this without having to stake 1800 Asto? I'll find out. And it is directly connected to book 1, so people should read this first anyway. It'll give you some context.
Cool.
The flow is very simple. I already have Asto bridged to the root network, but if I didn't, when I clicked the read book button and went to subscribe, it would start at a bridging model. So it would ask me to bridge. It would say, hey, it's 1800 Asto, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you put enough for gas in. We cannot give a direct number to how much gas it will cost, because it'll change. But from all my testing today, it's been anywhere between 16 and 33 Asto. Okay. So I think it's 30 to 60 odd cents. So.
And how is there a time frame? Like, does that take 15 minutes, or is that pretty quick?
Yeah. So bridging is the 15-minute cooldown, just because it's bridging. Everything else is very fast. Yep. Being on the root network is quite quick, as we found out through a lot of testing today. Cool. All I do is confirm it. It'll process my transaction. I'll sign, transaction confirmed, start reading. And then, so sometimes our website's actually faster than the blockchain. So you'll notice as this is still showing subscribe, but if I refresh, it shows unsubscribe now. So occasionally we are faster than what the blockchain can see. That's something we're working on, sort of being able to show. But right now, it is what it is. And then we can read the book. And it's as simple as that. So I don't need to stake any Asto because it costs 0. I've already got Asto bridged over. So if it goes, oh, maybe there's a gas transaction, it doesn't actually need it because it's 0. And it just goes straight to the book. We have a navigation panel on the front. It tells you how to read the book. There is also a navigation instruction that stays there forever if you forget what they are. You can turn the
cool. So,
animations.
yeah, it's just
right.
reading. So you can flatten it and you can turn off the animations.
Yep.
Man, I'm
You can do
excited
it
to
all.
see what that actual story looks like.
Well, you're about to see it.
Yeah.
So we really wanted it to be accessible. Some people get motion sickness from like parallax views. Some people's computers are bad, so the animations are going to, cause issues. We wanted to make the low end and the top end. The goal is to have multiple languages. We're going to get narrated versions too for those who don't have the best reading skills. It's all in the pipeline. I believe multiple languages is the first one we want to tackle. So with my navigations, I either push spacebar to start or just the right arrow because it's the next frame. And then it'll move me straight into the book.
Cool.
And this is what's called, so essentially this is the guided view. So I don't scroll through the book, I just click arrow keys. So if I click right, it takes me to the next panel. And as you can tell, there's small animations, but it's still a book.
Yep.
And then it'll take me through page by page. And I can read it, I can absorb it, things move, there's minor animations, and death and destruction very quickly.
Wow, I didn't think Seekers were violent.
Well, this one is. But this is an actual Seeker. This isn't one that we designed, it's one we bought and put in the book. Same as Friend on the front screen, that is a real Seeker that exists. We picked this one because it had a weapon that we wanted to use. And the other one is sort of our communications bot. It had like a walkie-talkie and the antenna and stuff. And we're like, well, that looks like it's good for communicating. And yeah, this is how you read the book, essentially. I won't take you too far, so you can enjoy it in your own time as well.
Yeah. What's the login to comment part down there?
That is part of the it's on the developer staging. So this won't exist in the normal one. This is so we can comment on issues on the website.
Yep.
I can't. Can I get rid of that? There you go. I got rid of it. Yeah, that won't exist. But yeah, so if you do forget the instructions, it's still here.
Yep.
If you want to turn off the animation, you can simply toggle it off, and now it's just a scrollable book, and you can just scroll through it. So it all depends how you want to view the story. So nothing's moving now; it's flat. So if you do get motion sickness from parallax viewing, this is the way you can read it without those issues. And it's the same as book one. So for book one, obviously I said, oh yeah, prequel was great. I want to continue the story. You can go to read book, and as you can tell, issue 1 is available. Everything else, it's not out yet. It's a weekly release, and this time and date are in your local time and date. It's the exact same time every week for the 7 weeks past. And it's got the times, it's there, so you know when it's coming out. It's got all of our artists there as well. Our lead artist, Josh, who wrote it, our colorist, our animator, and Square Pusher, who was the thingy we hired.
How much did the thingy do? Can you?
Thingy, yeah, I can tell you. The thingy created 8 creatures that are featured in the book.
Cool.
They created them and we stylized them. So essentially, our artist drew over them to merge them into the style of the book. So it was really showing that AI is a tool for our artists to use rather than a replacement theory. It just made things easier, and also gave Square Pusher a job, who is paid for their work. It wasn't a marketing scheme that we said we're hiring them. The owner of Square Pusher could tell you that they have made a good amount of money from this. They are a paid artist. So if I want to read this, I can click subscribe, but if I'm lazy and forget that, I can click read, and it'll tell me it'll take me through it. So it tells me the subscription cost. It tells me how much Asto I have on the Root network. So this is available Asto in my wallet, and then available stake, obviously, I have 0. So I need to stake 1,800 Asto. Also has a little warning here to say, you can unstake it anytime you want. You can take this out. You're not locked into the staking period. You can unsubscribe. You can remove your Asto, do whatever you like with it. There's no lock-in. So if I click stake, a small warning comes up that says, make sure you're staking enough to cover the gas. Because if you just stake 1,800, you're probably going to have to do it again because you're going to need 30 Asto or whatever to pay for the transactions.
Yeah, so probably safe to have like at least 50 to 100 extra sitting in there. Just
exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can't give it a number because, as you know how networks work, that number's never going to be the same.
Yep.
So we confirm the transaction. It'll do approving. I'll sign it. And then it's going to do its thing. And I'm going to wait for, it's like 20 seconds of that. It just gives enough time for the transactions to actually happen in the background. And then so it comes up with processing. I got to sign it again. So it's going through all the steps in the background rather than you having to click like 8 buttons to go through staking or bridging or anything. It's doing it all for you. We want to keep the tech in the background. You don't need to know how it works. It just works.
Yep.
And that was it. So I click confirm. Once again, gonna have to sign it. So what it's doing, because I clicked the read button and not the subscribe button, is it's doing it all for me. So I just get straight into the book and I don't have to do anything else, which is nice. Or it's broken, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's staking now. So I think I saw something. So you're earning points at the same time per day. You earn, was it Tempus points or something for every day you stake?
Yep. So how Tempus points work. So if we go, so there's 2 ways you can get to the accounts page. You can either click on account or just click on your wallet address. And this is where everything lives. So you can see that I've got 1,800 Asto staked into the website. You can see that I'm using that 1,800 Asto to subscribe to a book. And that I have no leftover Asto to do anything else with. How the calculation works for Tempus points is that every single Asto staked earns you 1 Tempus point a day. To be eligible to mint the first edition, you need 75,000 Tempus points plus the mint cost. If that calculation is based on 1,800 for 6 weeks, so we're giving a sort of a week's grace at the start because we don't want it to be, you had to sign up on the first day because it's a bit crazy. But if you start staking before the end of the first week, you will have enough Tempus points by the time the mint unlocks to be eligible to mint for a first edition of the comic.
Right. So that, because I saw based on all the stories you had in the timelines, that's probably about 7-8 weeks worth of stories.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 7 weeks. Yeah. So we made it 6 weeks for the calculation.
Yeah.
If you want more than 1 first edition, simply stake more Asto. There is no limit to how much Asto you can put into this website, into the staking contract. So if, say, I want to mint 2 first editions, put in 3,600 Asto, and you'll get 150,000 Tempus points. So that means you could get 2 first editions if you wanted to.
So sorry, so this, you've probably talked about this, but so what just the first edition and the second edition?
Mm-hmm. So it's first and second edition in comics is like it's the cover art that changes.
Oh, right, okay.
So the
you
first
can tell
edition,
I haven't read too many comics.
That's all right. So the first edition comic will be available to mint for 72 hours. Once it's gone forever. The second edition will be available for a week. The week is not completely confirmed yet though, but it will be available for longer than the first edition. But it's one of those things with normal comics where the first edition is the first batch ever made. Once it's gone, it's gone. It never comes again. And that's exactly what this is. The second edition is the book. It might still have variant covers, but it is the second edition of it. The second printing, so to speak.
Is there a way to mint without having Tempus points?
Yep. So that's the second edition mint, which is anyone can do it. It doesn't matter. It's just a mint and Asto at the end.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you don't technically need to buy this book to read it. You can just stake to read it and then be like, cool, I read it. That's enough for me. The option is there for people that want it forever. Once the staking period is over and once the mint is over, it's gone. Unless you've got it minted, you can't read it anymore. there are multiple versions of the first edition. There are multiple versions of the second edition. They all have the same content. I will make that very clear. The comic book has never changed. It's the same. It's the same as normal comics. The variant art styles of the covers are what's different.
That's
and
right.
obviously
I
less
think I
people will have
saw in one of your tweets that the seeker was hinting that there could potentially be a holographic version, because there was three. Was there 2 or 3 stages of rarity?
So there's first editions and second editions, but there's stages
yeah.
of rarity within those.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot we linked that. Yeah. There's there's holographic ones.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
cool.
we had multiple artists work on the book, which means every artist should get their own cover. You know, they worked on the book. So there are multiple versions of each edition, basically. And the only way to get the variant arts of the first edition is to mint first edition. The second edition still has variant arts, but they'll obviously be a lot easier to obtain. We want to reward people that have, been following along and reading it as it comes out. That's what the first edition is for. That's for people that, enjoyed the book. Not for people that just want to buy it to say, I own the book. So on this accounts page, you also have the bridging tool. So if you need to bridge more Asto over or anything like that, you can do it straight through here. You can, however much you've got, in your ETH account, just chuck in 1,000. MetaMask will move you back to the Ethereum network, and then the transaction will come up and you'll start bridging that over, and then a cooling off period will come up in this box with a timer that says starts counting down from 15 minutes because that's how long bridging takes. Then I cancelled it, so it's unsuccessful. So if you do want to bridge more, you can.
Okay, and so for bridging, is that in Asto gas or is that ETH gas?
That's ETH gas because it's on the Ethereum network.
Yeah, and then we can bridge back. Oh, we can withdraw. I see down a bit further. We could withdraw it back, and so that would be XRP gas or Asto gas or whatever we want it to be.
Anything on the root network within this website is all based in Asto.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want to stake extra, you can stake it through here. So if you want to earn more points, and then if you want to withdraw it, so I have 0 that I can withdraw because
until you
it's subscribed.
Yeah.
So it's subscribed to a book right now, so it's in use. So if I went back to the book and unsubscribed from the book, then it becomes available. So it's locked when you're subscribed, obviously, because you have access to the book. But if you want to unsubscribe, you can do it whenever you want. And we'll wait for the transaction to go through, and then I can show you that it's now different. So I've successfully unsubscribed. And then if I go back to my account, this will change soon. There we go.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah. So now it's available Asto. So I can simply withdraw it, and then it comes out of the website. And it's still on root. So if you want to bridge it back from root, you'd obviously have to do that manually.
Yeah.
So our bridge is from ETH to root, but I believe the root network one can do it the other way as well. But you can unstake it from the website here, where you just withdraw it.
Oh, right. Okay. But then we still have to go out to bridge it back.
Root network, Asto. You can just do it from here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we go to app.rootnet.live/bridge, and that's pretty straightforward. Cool.
There you go. Yeah. So it's super easy, but it's part of the process of starting to use the root network. I think once people are bridging assets there's no real need to bridge them back once everything starts getting built on root. We're just one of the first external companies to start using it.
Okay, so eventually the likes of Cortex will be, the ASM Cortex will be en route in.
I assume so. I couldn't say because I'm not high up enough in the company.
Okay.
But that's what I imagine is the goal is to move everything to root. And every Web3 company should want to use root. That's the idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, this all seems very seamless and easy.
Yeah. You also have the bookshelf, which is a bit more future-proofing. But this shows you all the books you're subscribed to. It's a little bit quicker to go through here. If I want to go, the new issue's out, click on my bookshelf, click on my book and go read it. Obviously, I unsubscribed to book 1, so it's not there anymore. But it's here now.
Yeah, Cool. So someone else could make a book or a series and submit it to Project Tempus, and you guys could put it in.
Correct.
The bookshelf. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
anyone can reach out to us and say, hey, we want to build on this platform, and then we say, well, come on in and we'll show you how it works. And we start the discussion of, do you want us to build it? Do you want to build it yourselves? Where does the partnership land there? We're kind of showcasing how to do it, and here's the tech. And here's how you can use the viewer. Here's how you can inbuild animations. Here's how we've built everything. Come and use it. And if you want us to, be your art house, for us to draw it and create it and write it, sure. If you've got your own team, you can make it and host it here.
Do you guys make anything off this?
The mint.
Right. Yeah. but if it's in Tempus points, then
well, it's in Asto and Tempus points.
Okay. Yeah.
So the idea is that Tempus points gives you access to mint the first edition. There is still an Asto cost to the book if you want to mint it. Yeah. That number is currently undecided because we don't know how much Asto is worth at the end of the book. So we can't obviously put a price on it. We don't know what it's worth in 7 weeks. Yeah. But the goal is to hope that it's kind of the same number. But if Asto's price goes up, we don't want to charge people hundreds of dollars to buy a book because it's a book. It needs to be accessible. And then we have the help page, so boring stuff, where people can fill in a form if they need help with anything. And we have the FAQs, which will be updated tomorrow, and there'll be about 25 items in here that will answer literally everything.
Cool.
And then it also populates your wallet address for you, but you can take it out. It's not mandatory. The only 3 fields mandatory are, 4 details, first, last name, and email. But these aren't like directly mandatory. You just have to put something in. So if you don't want to put your real last name in, you don't have to, etc. Obviously, we need your real email or else we can't talk to you. And if you don't want to copy your wallet address in after you delete it, simply hover over it and it'll auto-populate.
Oh, that's cool.
The only reason we want these details, obviously, it's easy to fix something when you have all the details.
Yeah.
Is
there any way to reach out to anyone in a Discord or anything if people don't want to give an email, or is that not at this stage?
Project Tempus doesn't have its own Discord. Obviously, I exist in Discords, or the Twitter is the easy way as well. Contact us through Twitter, through this form, or find me somewhere. Officially, we don't run through, Futureverse Discords.
So what's your favorite part of this, like the release, and what are you excited about?
For the book, issue 4. Issue 4 is by far my favorite. And I'm just excited to get it out. It's been a long time coming. We've been building this website and the book for, I think, 14 or 15 months now.
Wow.
Getting everything right. We're also an extremely small company. This isn't a Futureverse scale company. We have 2 artists full-time employed, 1 part-time artist, and the rest of us are doing this because we want to get it off the ground. That's it. We've hired an external developer company as well to help us with some of the development. But it's not, hundreds of people. It's very much, I work full-time. The CEO, Kale, works full-time. Josh works full-time. And our artists are the ones we made sure were on payroll. And our developers, obviously. So it's it definitely takes a lot longer than when you only have a few people, but you also get the advantage of doing everything right. There's no rush. As you can tell from the website, this isn't a graphic designer didn't make this website. We had graphic designers help, but this is all hand drawn. Everything you see on this website was hand drawn.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
And you guys are the first external company to be launching something on Rote.
We are,
which is
correct.
epic.
Yeah. It's a big moment for us, and Futureverse are just as excited as well. They've been great to work with.
Are there any Easter eggs or anything in these books?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Can't tell you what they are.
Yeah, no.
There are certain things you can find in the book, and there is one in each issue, and that's all I give you.
Cool.
There are characters people may recognize. There are characters in there that they might not recognize, even though they should.
Ooh. Awesome. Oh, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to being able to jump on tomorrow and stake some Esto. Well, bridge Esto first and then stake it. And yeah, no, it'll be cool to see how it works.
As you can see, it worked. This is
Yeah.
the website. This isn't some this is the website that's going out tomorrow, and every button I clicked worked, which is great. So there's a lot of things we had to make sure we got right. There's been a lot of work with our developers, working with the Futureverse developers as well, to figure out, what's going where. Making the Asto token work as gas too was a huge one for us, because you're like, well, if you stake with gas, why, the root network's whole idea is that tokens can be used for a lot of things. There isn't a gas token, so let's make Asto the gas token. There are also parts of the website that aren't unlocked yet. There's a lot of stuff coming. We haven't just been making a book for 14 months. I'll tell you that much. There's multiple, as you can see, there's multiple hallways in the website that currently don't do anything.
Yeah, those doors back there behind that's machine look cool too. Yeah.
There's a door. There's a lot of stuff to come. This is just, hey, we've shown you how it works. Now let's let you get your hands in it.
Cool.
And I'll leave it at that.
Is there any, other than thingies, is there any other Futureverse tools that have been used to produce anything?
I mean, their entire network.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Very specifically on the yet part. At least not live. But we are working with Futureverse with their innovation department, with the AI tooling stuff that they're building.
Yeah.
That gets leaked on Twitter a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everyone's excited to get their hands on that.
Yeah, we're working with them to see what we can use for Tempus, and especially giving our artists more tools is a big one for us. There's a lot of sort of laborious work that goes into page layouts, posing 3D models to do your layouts as well as backgrounding scripts and things like that. So through the process of making the comic, there's a lot of tools that can be made with AI to help your artists produce work easier. Sometimes it's not faster, but it does take some manual labor out of it for them. So think about if you design a building for a background and you go, I want to fill this out a little more. You can have tools that fill that out, and then they draw over it with their styling. So rather than replacement theory of artists, it's tools for artists to use.
Yeah, that's cool, and I think this is a cool thing to show the artist that anyone that's potentially worried about being replaced, there's still definitely going to be a place.
Yeah, and you can see it in the fact that some of these other AI tools, obviously I'm not going to name names, are being sued out the ass for stealing art. But you notice Futureverse isn't, because the whole idea of ethical AI is it should be ethical.
Yeah.
Or else what's the point?
Cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
It's the book that gets highlighted, but obviously you can't really show much of the book in the video, so.
Yeah, no, I don't want to show anything. It's kind of good that we cut when we did on the main book, because you want people to actually jump in and read that.
Yeah, I want people to read it. That's our whole goal, is for people to enjoy the book. We're not a massive company, so we don't need millions and millions and millions of dollars to come in to make the book sustainable. We want people to enjoy it and buy it because they want it, not because they feel like they're missing out because they don't have it in their collection. Yeah, that's the idea. It's very, very not Web3 of us.
And for someone like me, it's cool because I've read a few comics, but this could be the start of something new, for a lot of people.
Exactly. It's an introduction to potentially a space they've never been in, which is cool.